So in this video, we have another quadratic sequence problem, but this time we're focusing in on the triangular numbers. And it is a quadratic sequence because the nth term for the triangular numbers is 1/2 n times n plus 1. And if you expand that, you get a quadratic. You get an half n squared plus half n. Okay, so this is a quadratic sequence. Part A, find the 8th triangular number. So the 8th triangular number, U8, would be 1/2 times 8 times 8 plus 1. So substituting just straight into the nth term formula. So 1/2 of 8 is 4, and we're multiplying that by 9, and so that would be 36. So the 8th triangular number is 36. Part B, which triangular number is the first to be larger than 250? So in order to work that out in a reasonable amount of time, we can put the nth term equal to 250. And we are going to solve this quadratic equation. So if I multiply through by 2 and expand that bracket out, so on the right hand side I'm going to get 500 multiplying through by 2, and I expand this out, so I'm going to get n squared plus n, and then subtract 500 from both sides. I have this quadratic equation to solve. So how should we solve this? Well, does it factorize? I'm not sure on that. So if we're not going straight in with factorizing, can we use completing the square or quadratic formula? We could use either of those. I think I'm going to go with completing the square, just because that gives us a little bit of extra practice on it. Really useful skill. So n and then half of the coefficient of n, so 1/2 squared. We need to take away that squared, so take away a quarter. And we've got the minus 500 still there. Now, feel free to use a calculator on this one. So minus a quarter, take away 500 is minus 2001 over 4. And I'm going to add that to both sides. So 2001 over 4. I'm then going to square root both sides, bring in a plus minus. So let's write that like that. And then subtract half from both sides. Okay. Now, I can ignore minus a half, take away the square root, because I don't want n to be negative. N must be a positive integer. So I'm only interested in minus a half plus square root of 2001 over 4. So I'm going to pop that in my calculator. Minus a half plus the square root of 2001 over 4. And we get that n is 21.866, etc. So what that's telling me is that the 21st term will be less than 250. The 22nd term will be larger than 250. So that means the 22nd term, will be the first to be larger than 250. And I can work out what the 22nd term is by substituting 22 into this. So 1/2 times 22 times 23. And that's 253. So that is the first triangular number to be larger than 250.